Hey guys, so today I am prepping dinner kind of early. I am going out with my sister for her birthday, and I'm going to make this dinner for my husband. So when he comes home, it's going to be in the fridge and he can just warm it up. I'm going to make like a Mexican bowl. Instead of rice, I'm going to use cauliflower rice, but I like to add some seasonings and make it a little bit extra. I'm going to also marinate some chicken that he's going to cook. So I'm going to cook all the veggies, and all he has to do is come home and take the chicken out of the bag that's marinating and grill it or fry it really quick. So I'm going to start with preparing the cauliflower rice. The reason why I like to do that is because I use this cutting board, and once you cut chicken, then you have to change the cutting board or wash it, and that's just a pain in the ass for me. So I like to do all the vegetables first, and then I'll do the meat later on. So this is the cauliflower rice from Trader Joe's. It's frozen. The ingredients are just organic cauliflower and some salt. So what I do is I take this out of the freezer. I'm going to put this in a pan, warm up some olive oil, and let this saute and defrost a little bit. I'm going to also make a little sauce that I'm going to mix in with this rice, so it gives it a nice flavor. So I put some cilantro in here. I cut up half of an onion and a clove of garlic. So I'm going to chop this up. Then I'm going to mix it with some olive oil so it becomes like a paste, but I don't want it too watery. And then I'm going to add that to the cauliflower rice. So this is my cilantro chimichurri, I guess. I put the chopped cilantro with the onion and the garlic in the bowl, added a little bit of olive oil and salt, some pepper, and some chili flakes. And I mixed it all up. And here I have the cauliflower rice going in the pan. I warmed up some olive oil. What I like to do is you get the bag, and when you dump it, it might, because it's frozen, it might have like big chunks. So I will break them up with my hand as much as possible, and then it will start coming apart after it gets warmed up by the pan as well, and then I break it up with a spatula. Now I'm going to start preparing the pepper and the onion, and I'm going to add some jalapeno as well. The way I like to cut a pepper is I cut on each side, so I'm left over with this top and the bottom. I will cut this up also, so I'm not throwing this away and wasting it, because I think that's just a total waste. And then here I will cut along the seams over here. So now you're left with these edges. I'm gonna just clean this up, and then this I just throw out. So here's the rice. I let it saute a little bit. It got a little golden edges, and then I added that cilantro mixture, and now I'm going to let that marry for a little bit longer. I just like to be mindful of how much oil you're using, because you're using a little bit of oil to saute the cauliflower, and then you're also adding that oil to that mixture. So that could be just a lot of oil in one dish. So just be mindful of how much you're adding. You don't need that much in the mixture. You just need it to combine together, because as you see, it looks perfectly fine. And you guys, it smells so good. I'm going to cut the onion out. I already cut the peppers. I like them like little pieces like this. And this is a half an onion. The other half I used for that cilantro chimichurri. So I'm just going to cut it this way so that we have like these pieces. So then when you saute it, it really looks like fajitas. All right, so this is done. I added a little bit more salt and pepper just to give it a little bit of a better flavor. I would suggest you tasting it before you take it out of the pan. So I'm going to transfer this to a Tupperware, wipe this pan off, and then take care of these onions, peppers, and jalapenos. I separated these jalapenos into two piles, because one pile is going to go with the onions and the peppers, and the other pile is going to go with the chicken marinade. So I have the peppers and onions and the jalapeno going. I added a little bit of olive oil and we're gonna saute that. A little tip for not using too much oil when you're sauteing vegetables, you can add a little bit of water so that the vegetables don't get burnt, but you're still getting that saute effect. Now I'm going to get started on marinating the chicken. My marinade is going to be the jalapeno. This is the Chipotle sauce, if you guys remember from a couple days ago. I opened the can and I didn't use the whole thing, so I figured let me use it so it doesn't go bad. Then just the typical salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some fresh garlic, the juice of 1 lime, a little bit of onion powder, some chili powder, obviously olive oil just so it melts together, and a little bit of sweet paprika. So I seasoned the onions and the peppers with some salt, pepper, paprika, this chili powder, which has the Cuban garlic and oregano, some onion powder, and I'm going to let that cook a little bit longer and mix it up. So this is the last step. I made the marinade here, I mixed it all up. Now I'm going to take the chicken and I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces and then put it in a Ziploc bag and pour all of that in together. So I cut up the chicken. It's a big chicken breast, so what I did is I cut it in half and then got rid of any gross pieces, and then cut it into smaller pieces like that. So when Jack gets home, he can either put it on skewers and grill it, or he can just put the whole thing in the pan and saute. So I'm going to put this and the marinade in a big bag like this and squeeze out the air and then put that in the fridge. So these are done. Nicely caramelized and wilted down, and they're perfectly seasoned. I'm going to put that in the Tupperware and put it in the fridge. So everything's in the bag. As I said, you have to get rid of the air so it's nicely sealed. So what I do is I roll it up like that and then I seal it, and now you can just mix it up so that every piece gets the marinade on it, and then I'm going to put that straight in the fridge. So this is the finished product. I have the chicken marinating here. When he gets home, he can just cook that really quick. Only takes a few minutes. These are both dishes that are already finished. So this is the pepper, onions, and the jalapeno mixture. This is the cauliflower rice with the cilantro dressing. And he can either make a bowl, or we still have the corn tortillas, so we can fry those up. And then he can top it with some avocado and cherry tomato.